In 2012, I launched JustOne with the idea to work towards ending poverty in Kenya and Uganda through ethical fashion.
And it's been quite the journey. I often joke that JustOne is another baby to me. Maybe I feel that way because many of the artisans call me Mom, but it's probably more because how much I love JustOne. I love the artisans, I love the mission, and I pour myself into it, just like I do with parenthood. 6 months ago, I realized JustOne was ready for the next chapter. And just like with some of my own children who grew up, became independent, graduated, and moved out, it is time for JustOne, my other baby, to be independent also. And so today, I start to say goodbye to JustOne. It's time for my baby to graduate, to gain that independence, and to move on. And just like with my own children, it's bittersweet. I loved having my kids at home, and it was hard to say goodbye, but I have to do what is best for them and not what's easiest for me. Likewise, I have loved my time with JustOne so incredibly much, but holding it tight to me just because I enjoy it does not mean it's what is best for the artisans. And so here we are, at a time of celebration of what was and what is coming, a graduation of sorts.
Just like two children raised by the same parents can be vastly different, we have seen the same be true in the two countries that we work in, Kenya and Uganda. They have different skills, different resources, different needs. And so this next chapter is a two-parter, Kenya and Uganda.
In Kenya, we realized not just how talented the artisans are with making jewelry and fashion, but they're also great entrepreneurs, leaders in their community, business people. And our goal has always been about providing dignity, and what is more dignified than independence? I approached the group to see what they thought if we took a step back and they took a step forward. And now, coming soon, is Victorious Kenya. We have been working so hard these last few months to get Victorious Kenya up and running. We've been meeting with order fulfillment centers, working on a website, working on packaging and presentation. When I went in November, we met with local photographers and social media managers, local carpenters to design pieces for them. And we've continued to meet virtually to learn and grow, and we're almost there. What does this mean moving forward? Victorious Kenya will be independent. Instead of buying through JustOne, who in turn buys from the artisans, now you can buy directly from the artisans. We are so excited for this new direction for them, and we are cheering them on and supporting them every step of the way. Unfortunately, in Uganda, the journey has not been as victorious. It has been an extremely hard few years. We've struggled to find products that resonated with people as trends and styles changed. But beyond that, the artisans we have worked with are all former child soldiers, which comes with so many struggles. I have sat with these incredible individuals and listened to their stories. Horrible acts done to them and unimaginable cruelty. After the war, when they escaped and returned home, life did not necessarily get better. Many of their own parents and families rejected them and turned them away. The stigma still weighs heavy in their communities. Being abducted as children, they have no education, no life skills taught in a healthy environment. They have lasting injuries due to landmines and bullet wounds, and many are infected with AIDS. Due to the stigma in the community, many are still targeted locally. We've seen countless robberies, homes set on fire, and brutal attacks. But with lack of funds, they are stuck in living situations that are unsafe with corrupt landlords and neighbors. It's time for a new start. They're tired. They spent years in a war they didn't want to be in, facing unimaginable atrocities. They return to pain, hardship, and cruelty. They have worked and worked, but it's time for a new approach. We sat with each artisan and asked what a new chapter would look like. Is there a way that they could provide for their own families? The answer was unanimous. They wanted to own their own land and a farm. Owning their own land would allow them not to rent, removing them from corrupt landlords and situations. Owning their own land would allow them dignity and a way to support their family on their own. After much research, we have come up with a goal for each artisan to own their own piece of land, build a home, and to do farming that would bring income in both short and long term. And so, as we phase out JustOne, we ask our community to step up once again.
So many of you have journeyed with us for the last dozen years throughout Kenya and Uganda. You've asked me and sent me messages about how the artisans are doing. You know them by name because we've shared about them as they're members of our family. And now we're asking you to support. We're so grateful for anything you can do. If it's not money, if it's time, if it's resources, if it's connections, we're grateful. If all you can do is cheer us on and encourage us, that means the world as well. We are each just one person, but when we do our part, it can change lives.